you have to judge the situation by their actions. And their actions have been not irresponsible, they've been sadistic, cruel, they funded Hitler, they funded millions of people to be killed, they assassinated Diana, they poisoned us. That's the end of it. Basically, that is what you can see when you look at it in the cold light of day, and you strip away Alex Jones telling you to buy gold, and you strip away the moon being made of titanium. You have to see things for what they really are. And the truth movement is sort of being led astray with all of these. They are interesting subjects. I'm not saying we shouldn't have books about those kinds of things. It is interesting, but you should keep your eye on the tiger. And you should judge the royal political elite by their actions, not all of these stupid, meaningless words that you see going in a cycle on programs like Question Time.
Why don't we just wipe them out?
Sorry?
We have got the weapons.
You don't need to wipe them out. You just need to neutralise them and disconnect them from the control lines. That's all you need to do. You see, the thing is,
still there.
How are we going to get into?
It is a problem if they're still there, like you have with France.
Sorry, how are we going to get into the mainstream sort of political system, because there's so many safeguards put in place to prevent that
like
from
this
happening.
Really. Real people in real places.
But that is with the help of the internet, of course, but without trying to rely just on the internet.
Yeah, you mustn't rely on the internet only.
So to infiltrate is obviously talking to our MPs, and then running. Yeah. But the project is running for.
Yeah, I mean, you'll find when you go to your MP and you discuss these things at this level, most of these MPs are pretty decent people.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Clive Everard, you know, I was talking to him about nuclear waste going backwards and forwards on the trains to Dungeness. And, you know, he'll sit there in his office and he'll sit there and goes, "It's amazing, isn't it?" You know, that's good. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. It shows that he still has some compassionate humanity within him. Yeah. It shows that, you know, he's amazed as much as anybody is. And in actual fact,
But he's not doing anything about it.
he will write letters, no question about it. He said to me that an MP has no power, but he does have the power to actually solve problems that people bring in by writing letters and getting a dialogue going. And I think that's true. I think that's a very honest...
If they really don't like the subject matter, they'll just tell him, "Don't bring this up again."
Well, these are in private surgeries. This is where you can get 15 minutes. If you go to the Eltham Community Centre and you're a constituent of Clive, he's there one Saturday every month.
Yeah, I'm going to see my MP this Friday.
Well, there you go. There you go. You've got like 15, 20 minutes. It's the way that you approach these subjects. If you go in there with one of Dave's books and you start saying, "Well, what's all this about these reptilians then?" And they're going to say, "What reptilians?" Because they really don't know. Many of them don't know anything. They are just there, they're creaming whatever they can out of the local council.
I think you've got to work within, we're all in a pyramid. So what we've got to do is work in our own little pyramid and try and switch lights on.
That's right.
I've been on 5 Live umpteen times.
Yeah.
Nicky Campbell's show in the morning.
Nicky Campbell, I've been on his show,
Richard Bacon a couple of times.
Yeah.
Richard Bacon's an arsehole, but anyway.
Yeah.
It doesn't
matter. It doesn't matter. You can still go on his show. It's a dialogue.
And it can be about any issue. It can be about Wayne Rooney, and you can still pull in.
That's
certain
it.
aspects.
In actual fact, the amount of phone-in programs is being, like Talk Sport now. That was always, it used to be LBC, and you used to have phone-ins and you used to have opinions from the public 24 hours a day. James, I'm mates with James.
Which side is he on? Is he side?
No, he's on our side.
Yeah.
James is on our side, but at the same time, he has to be very, very careful. He's had a few bouts of cancer. It's not such an easy thing. If you have got a celebrity kind of profile to maintain, and he's been fired now, I think 3 times, He's been fired once from London Weekend TV. I mean, usually you only get fired once, that's the end of it. Like George Lazenby. George Lazenby was on the Simon D show, London Weekend TV, it was their biggest show, and he went on there and he said, I'm going to tell you now the names of the men who were responsible for assassinating JFK. Poof. The next day, he was not James Bond anymore, and he was never on the television anymore.
Did he name people?
Yes, he named the same people that were named by Jim Garrison in the subpoenas. That weird guy in the JFK film, he wears a white. Yeah, Clay Shaw. Yeah, he names all of those people. And London Weekend TV wiped the tapes. That George Lazenby, Simon D thing doesn't exist anymore in the archives.
Was it going out live?
Yeah. Yeah, that was on the Simon D show.
Because I remember you was trying to find...
I've now become really good friends with Simon D's son and daughter, but they can't help me. They don't know anybody at London Weekend TV. London Weekend TV, by the way, was owned by David Frost. And then it became owned by Peter Jay, who married Jim Callaghan's daughter when Jim Callaghan was the Prime Minister. So you can see how narrow the media is controlled, you know, and now there aren't, London Weekend Television doesn't exist anymore, it's been absorbed into the ITV Big Five, which is Granada and Carlton.
Same with all the little local, apparently local stations.
There were local ones, but they've gone now.
They're all controlled now.
They're all controlled, yeah.
Have you had much? Have you had much harassment in like some of the films you've made about the Illuminati? I mean, I felt that your film about the Kabbalah was extraordinary because it expressed a huge sentiment that I felt for a very long time, and you reiterated it, which I'm very grateful for. I'll see you afterwards because I've got a very interesting thing on the death of Eliza Crowley for you. I think I know the man who killed him.
Wow.
And I can put you in touch with him. He's still alive. He was a man who was blown through a ladies' toilet door during the Battle of Britain as he was running across an airfield. And they said, you're very educated and your body's too broken, you can't fly airplanes anymore, you're going to become a lecturer at the college. And he became part of a secret project about 1943-44 where he investigated 50 investigations of psychic occurrences where planes went out of control, flew in bizarre directions, no one could control them, and then when they landed, there was nothing wrong with them, and they'd flown to avoid flak and stuff like this. People appeared in aeroplanes and stuff. This was really spooking people out. There was a lot of, they'd suppressed it, and he was a part of an investigation, an unofficial investigation.
I've actually got friends of mine filming at the Temple of Cefalù. They've been filming there, they've been camping out in the forest, which is this place in Sicily, Cefalù, where Aleister Crowley had his temple where he was initiating various aristocrats and various people. So we're filming it because the place was closed down, but it still exists. And
what's the ancient historical basis of that place?
I don't know. The best person to ask is Leo Zagami, who's Italian, and he's actually filming. He's filming a report. He's filming a report for my TV channel right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
The metaphysics behind the Roman Empire, the invasion, Caesar's invasion of Britain.
Yeah.
I discovered this place where the first Roman crucifixions took place. The real reason that Caesar came was to acquire the knowledge of metaphysicians in southern Kent. 4 times the Roman fleet left Boulogne Harbour on bright sunny days, and 3 times they were smashed up by storms in the middle of the English Channel.
Yeah, that's very true. They actually came here and considered, it was even in Julius Caesar's diary, that the aristocrats from the Italian Roman Empire were sending their children to be tutored by the Druids, by the British Druids, and Pontius Pilate was actually born in Scotland.
Wow.
Yeah, because the aristocrats actually were very, very interested in the stone circles and in how the natural electromagnetic ley line energy in the British landscape had actually been unblocked and put into sort of circular curve sort of